What's going on, everyone? So in a surprising move, we saw the Phoenix Suns pull off a trade in sending one unprotected first to the Utah Jazz for 3 first-round picks. So basically, Utah Jazz consolidated their picks in order to get a pick, which makes a lot of sense for Utah. Phoenix is cooked. They have no future. Unless they hit home runs on every single one of their picks that they will have, their future is very bleak. They are as all in gets from a team standpoint. So from Danny Ainge's standpoint in the Utah Jazz, that made all the sense in the world, right? You consolidate all these random picks into what could potentially be the number 1 pick in that year's draft, right? Because by that point, Kevin Durant's going to be gone. Bradley Beal should be gone. Devin Booker is probably going to be gone at that point, right? Phoenix is going to be a dumpster fire at that point. So that made a ton of sense for the Utah Jazz. And then just from the Phoenix side of things, right? Again, you're all in, right? You need to push. You're either pushing your chips in or you're not, right? I talk about it all the time with some of these other teams, the Lakers, the Warriors, right? Pick a direction, pick a lane, and go down it, right? You can't do all Suns have picked a direction. I just don't think that it was the right direction. Especially with what they had. I thought going and getting Kevin Durant made all the sense in the world. I just thought you had Devin Booker and Kevin Durant, 2 of the best 10 top 10 scorers. I'm not saying players. I'm saying just pure scorers. 2 of the top 10, 15 just pure bucket getters in the league. Maybe even better. I might be underselling that, right? You had your offensive firepower. You didn't need all this other fluff, right? You didn't need a Bradley Beal. You didn't need more. You needed 3 and D wings, grit and grind guys. You needed the hustle play guys. You needed a guy like a Nick. I thought Nick Richards was a great pickup for them. Laker guy talked about Nick Richards on the Lakers, and I even said when this happened, I actually think Nick Richards will be better for the Suns than he would be for the Lakers. I actually think Nick Richards going to the Suns was a better move for Nick Richards and Phoenix than it would have been him going to the Lakers, because I just think the role is going to be very different. You're already seeing Nick Richards start for them because that's the kind of player that they need. Now, reports came out too that the Phoenix Suns doing this trade, right, but they didn't have Miami in mind. Right? They didn't have the Jimmy Butler trade in mind. This was just a move just to get some more assets to maybe make a move. Do we buy that? Telling me you didn't even... I could see this as hey, we made the move. If we can use this to get Jimmy Butler, great. But if not, then we could take Nurk and 3 first and still go make another move. Right? Yes, I can understand. I don't think that this was made solely for Jimmy Butler. Right? But as soon as this move happened, all of us, including Phoenix, right, all went, this probably leads to Jimmy Butler, right? It'd be silly to think otherwise. They've been begging for Jimmy Butler. They were willing to put up their last first in a trade to go get Jimmy Butler. Well, now it's still kind of the same thing, except for now you got 3 firsts, but it really just, you took your 1 first for 3, so it's still the same thing. Give up all the first, add Bradley Beal. That might be enough to incentivize the Miami Heat, where it's man, we get 3 firsts as well as Bradley Beal. It might be worth it. We're probably not winning a championship right now anyway. And I think Bradley Beal would get back to being a 25-5-5 guy for that team, right? I do. I think it would make sense. I do think it's really interesting that this deal got done. It was very creative, to the Suns' credit, right? You got to give it up to him. What a creative way to kind of break this down. We've seen teams trade picks for picks and stuff like that, but Phoenix has done a good job of just maintaining, cap flexibility, or not cap flexibility, asset flexibility, right? And then to go get these 3 first, you have multiple directions now you can go, right? You have multiple angles now you could go in something where it's okay, well, we got multiple firsts that we can pair with a Bradley Beal and go make, a Jimmy Butler move. Or we can take these and pivot and go take Nurk and maybe go get some complementary pieces now that we have a Nick Richards to go make that trade, go make the move. Because teams apparently aren't interested in Nurk at all, right? And Yusuf Nurkic, I think he's okay. It's just 1, how many teams need a center? 2, how many need a specific center like him, right? He's a guy, in a backup role, I think would probably be one of the better backups in the league. The problem is that, again, he just didn't make sense for Phoenix. And I talked about this when they went and traded for him, right? I understand the idea and logic of like, okay, you can run your offense through him at times because he is a good passer. He's a guy that can pass out a double team and find the cutter and all that stuff. But he just didn't make sense for a team that just like all you needed was a guy like Nick Richards. Just rebound and defend. That's it. Block shots and rebound the basketball, get putbacks, be a lob threat. That's all they needed to get that. Right? Like I said, they were better off going and getting like a Clint Capella or something like that than they were going to get a Yusef Nurkic. And look, now you got Nick Richards, and he's been great for them. Been exactly what they need. Problem is they need the other complementary pieces around it. So I think you either, my problem is I don't know if Jimmy Butler makes Phoenix better, and no one would want to see them. Right? But I don't know I don't think he makes them a championship contender. No one would be shocked. Right? Like, so right now, put it like this, right? Like, right now, I would be shocked if Phoenix won the championship. Shocked. Like, and that's with Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal, and Devin Booker. I would not be shocked if they won with Jimmy Butler, because I do think that those three make more sense. But I still think that they lack the size, they lack the defense, and they lack kind of like the structure that they need to be a good basketball roster. But things can change. If you can turn Nurk and those picks into things, right, instead of Jimmy Butler, right, if you could get two hustle plays, two kind of 3-and-D guys, right, and maybe keep the Bradley Beal experiment where he's coming off the bench, maybe that works. I just think Phoenix is multiple moves away, and again, their creativity has shown that they might be able to pull off some other things, right? Like, I just think in the end, it's probably not going to go the way that they're hoping it does if they were to pull off like a Jimmy Butler trade or anything like that. I think Phoenix is stuck. I think giddy Jimmy Butler kind of rips off the Band-Aid, but you still don't have enough to heal the wound, right? Like, I just think the wound is too big. Right? You really need all the pieces to sew it up, right? Like slapping, some tape over it, right? Or, trying to, whatever. It's just, I just don't trust that Phoenix is going to be able to pull this off. But it was a really good move. It was very creative. And, you got to give it up to them. You got to give them kudos for pulling that off. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, and I pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Like the idea, hate the idea, kind of mixed in the middle. However you feel, whatever your thoughts are. I'd love to hear it either way, so let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. Lets me enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.